Okay, I have a Z71, not a Z71, but these are the mats for the Z71. I have a Zr2. For some reason, Chevy claims they don't fit. There's a part number and everything for the front splash guards. So irritated that they put the rear ones on, but not the front ones. But yet the Z71 has the same exact fender flares. This is for the Z71 with the fender flares. So here's your model number, and I'll show you how I'm gonna install them right now. Passenger side done. The only thing I'm gonna have to probably fix is this little thing. I didn't quite get it in there straight enough, but you have to turn the wheels all the way to one way to get that back one, and then turn them the other way. And it's a lot easier to get these other two. This one and the one in the back are already pre-existing, and I'll show you on the other side right now. So the way this thing sits is that one little flap goes on the bottom, and you can see, kind of hard to show you holding the phone, but that one, that little one lines up with that one, and then this bottom one lines up with that one. And you do have to drill a little hole right here, because you're going to see this way this flap is. You want that flap flush and on the outside. I mean, it's just kind of like a little piece right here. Otherwise it doesn't look right. I mean, they have these two little indentations, but if you do that, you see how it looks? It doesn't quite look right. So what I'm going to do is scrape those two little things down, so that way it sits flush right here. And then when I drill that hole, see how on the outside it sits nice and flush. Otherwise those two little things stick up. So I'm going to go and do that, and I'll show you guys the finished product. It's a little bit easier. I got the screws off, and see, you just want to line it up like so, and just go ahead and put your screws on in, and we done. Okay, ran into a little snag with these. My tires and rims, you can see it like barely rubs, but I think if I let it rub long enough, it's gonna make a hole go right through here. So on mine, I found this little plastic piece that I can just cut off. If you can see, there's like a plastic piece behind this, and for some reason it's for the fender, but this little plastic piece doesn't even hold anything. And even if it does, it doesn't matter. You got plenty of other bolts there. So I'm just gonna remove this, and then I'll show you a little plastic piece that I'm cutting off. And if for some reason it does cause issues later on down the line, I'll let everyone know, but I highly doubt it. This right here is the piece in question, and if you look at it, it doesn't really hold anything, because this is all attached anyways, but I think it's supposed to hold this little bottom piece up a little better. But if something happens, I can always just drill a hole right here and attach it to the underbody. But I mean, when you look at it right now, there's nothing screwed in and nothing moves, so what's the point of it being there? And that little tiny bit of plastic, which is a couple millimeters, is what's making it rub that tiny bit right there. Once you remove that piece of plastic, then it doesn't rub. All right, and that's what it looks like once you cut it off. Try and get it nice and clean looking. Again, you're not gonna see that big old huge hole. I don't know if this is something different that's on the Z71 versus the Zr2 maybe, but I mean, that's maybe the smaller tire size or something is what causes it. But you cut that little tiny piece off, and it's funny how then it doesn't rub. I plan on getting a 2-inch level kit anyways, installed in a week or so. So I'm sure if I had that, it wouldn't be an issue, but it is for me right now at least. So we'll see how that works, and I'll show you guys the finished product. And as you can see, here's the final product, and now it's not actually touching. The only thing I could think of that might make these fit a little bit better would be where this little tab is right here. If you were to push it back maybe a tiny bit, like this, if you pushed it back and then drilled a hole right there, because see, then it would leave you quite a bit more versus what it is right now. I mean, I know these things move around a bunch. Seeing that, like, that can move around a bunch, and that might affect the rubbing. So if you pull that back little piece back some, See, then it actually makes quite a bit of difference in the clearing. I mean, right now, if I pull it back, and then of course it clears, but I'm sure if you brake, it's gonna, this little piece is gonna constantly move all over the place. So, it's something to think of. I did add a screw right there. And now you can see there's really no chance of it rubbing it at all now it's pulled back a little bit. So I guess you could say that's how you modify the Z71 to fit the Zr2. It's clear from perfect, but you know what? It's close enough for me. I wanted some mud flaps, and there are none on the market right now. So this is what I'm gonna get. Here's the other side. You can see it's definitely not gonna rub now. For those of you who want to know why I put these on the front, because it's just going under a dang puddle, and I get that much stuff on the front of my truck. Imagine if you're off-roading, how much rocks and everything you're gonna have flying up. And I don't know why some of the other people are getting so many rock chips right here. I don't have any rock chips. That's just like, I have stuff fly up. The only thing I can think of is because I have these steps, and it's preventing them from flying up. But I mean, I know they do make like these little splash guards that go on this side, but all the ones I've seen aren't for the without the fenders. So I don't know.